NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us now from Jerusalem. So, Raf, let's start with the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Why is this aid ship being held up in Cyprus? And what are relief agencies saying about efforts to try and get food into Gaza?
So, Joe, in terms of that aid ship, the food that is being loaded onto it comes from World Central Kitchen, the charity run by Chef Jose Andres. And World Central Kitchen is saying they are ready to go. They say technically there are no holdups. They say the issue here is diplomatic. They say diplomacy at this point is ongoing. They are not being specific about what that diplomatic holdup is, but it appears that they don't have agreement from all parties at this point to depart from Cyprus, head to the coast of Gaza, and begin delivering that aid. It does remain unclear what the so-called last mile of this delivery is going to look like, how this aid is actually going to make it off of this ship in the eastern Mediterranean to the people who so badly need it in northern Gaza. In terms of humanitarian organizations, we have heard about President Biden's plan for the U.S. military to build a temporary pier off the coast of Gaza. That is going to take 2 months, U.S. officials tell NBC News, and these humanitarian organizations say famine is already here in northern Gaza. They say around 20 children have died of malnutrition, dehydration in recent weeks. And the overwhelming message from humanitarian organizations, the UN, has been that these airdrops, the idea of getting food in from the sea, is not a substitute for getting more food in from land, either through Israel or through Egypt. And they say that needs to happen, and there needs to be safe conditions to actually distribute that food if there's going to be real chance of fending off famine in Gaza. Guys.
So, Raf, as we mentioned, Ramadan started today. You are in Jerusalem. Tell us, what is the mood like among Palestinian Muslims there? And what's this going to look like? Is Israel going to impose restrictions on worshippers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque? That's a key Muslim holy site there in Jerusalem.
Yeah, Savannah, there is a heaviness in Jerusalem right now. Ramadan is supposed to be a time of celebration, a time of being close to family, feeling close to God. But the streets here are empty. Our team has been inside the old city of Jerusalem earlier, and many of the shops that sell those distinctive Ramadan candies say nobody's buying this year. Our team spoke to a 38-year-old Palestinian man. He says this is the most painful Ramadan he can remember. And people here in Jerusalem are not underneath the bombs, but they are thinking about their fellow Palestinians in Gaza. And I can tell you the security presence in East Jerusalem right now is very intense. We've been seeing Israeli security patrols on the streets behind us. There is a checkpoint just a couple hundred yards from where we are that really looks like something that you'd see in the occupied West Bank as opposed to Jerusalem. You have Israeli troops up behind concrete barriers. So there is a real heaviness. In terms of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, there was a video making the rounds last night, verified by NBC News, that shows Israeli police hitting Palestinians with batons, with nightsticks in the streets of the old city last night as they were trying to get into the mosque for prayers. We asked the Israeli police about this. They say that they are trying to safely facilitate very large numbers, but I can tell you there is a lot of concern worldwide that the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in Islam, known as the Temple Mount to Jews, could be a tinderbox that spreads this conflict here to Jerusalem. Guys.
Raf, we heard earlier from President Biden rebuking Prime Minister Netanyahu over the death toll and humanitarian situation in Gaza. Talk to us a little bit about the growing frustration from the Biden administration and what Netanyahu makes of President Biden's comments.
Yeah, Joe, so the specific phrase that's got a lot of attention here is the the president said Prime Minister Netanyahu is hurting Israel more than he is helping Israel. Now, we saw Prime Minister Netanyahu get in front of the cameras pretty shortly after that interview went out on MSNBC. He said he didn't know what the president meant by that, but he said that some of the positions he holds, which put him on a diplomatic collision course with the Biden administration, are supported by the Israeli public. And he gave a couple of examples. One, going into Rafah, that southernmost city in Gaza where more than 1 million Palestinians are sheltering, something the Biden administration says they should not do without a credible plan. He says the Israeli public supports that. He also says the Israeli public supports him in opposing the Palestinian Authority returning to Gaza. which is something the Biden administration says needs to happen. Guys.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.